2019, Marvel announced a whole new Blade reboot movie starring Mahershala Ali as Blade. And if you watched Moonlight or Luke Cage, shout out my boy Cottonmouth, then you know just how much of a generational pull having him as your titular character is. Like, I ain't trying to be dick riding or anything, but my guy can act and act well he can. That was 6 years ago, and the film is still been in development hell, where at one point they said they had to scrap the whole script because Blade wasn't even the focal point of the movie. Now, before we get there, we're gonna have to hop in a time machine real quick and travel back to 1998. My GOAT Blade, who was at one point held the savior of Marvel after the success of the 1998 film, my guy Big Wesley Snipes heading the helm. Now we gotta take a quick look at why this movie was receiving such glaze. Well, it's simple. In 1996, Marvel had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The comic book market crashed and Marvel was in debt. Maybe a small loan of $1 million could have helped. Let's be honest, before the Blade movie dropped, Marvel was kind of stinking up the box office with Howard the Duck and a Fantastic Four 1994 film, which they hit faster than Drake hit Adonis from The World. Outdated joke? Right. If you guys want a video on that 1994 film, let me know. Get that done. I'll dig it out of the archives. Now back to the topic at hand. Blade had a budget of $45 million and generated a whopping $131 million worldwide. Now, follow me here. This was the first successful Marvel movie, both critically and commercially. This showed that superhero movies can be taken seriously. This showed that you could turn a Marvel character into some real money. $131 million, that's nothing to laugh at.
He ain't lying.
And you know how down bad Marvel was. Look how they did my boy Spidey. He's in a whole broken home and Marvel is still in custodial battles to this day. Now, what made Blade so different? It wasn't marketed as a comic book movie, so most of the people who watched it, they probably didn't even know it was about a superhero or a whole ass Marvel character, which opened up a whole new market besides children and comic book lovers. Now, I know me personally as a kid, Blade was definitely one of the first of its kind that I've saw. And, you know, we had Vampire in Brooklyn, but that's a whole nother experience. If you know, you know. Blade laid the groundwork for Marvel's new scenic rise for a whole new level of confidence in superhero films. That being said, we do not talk about Blade. We had Triple H look like a goddamn extra for Vampire Diaries. He'd have fit right in that Mystic Falls High with the rest of the 500-year-olds cosplaying as teenagers. Now, let's hop back into the time machine for a second and fast forward back to 2020. It's been 6 years since we were last given an announcement of the new Blade reboot, and since then we have gotten nothing. We got rumors of a scrap script, directors and writers dipping off of the project, and Wesley Snipes even made an appearance as Blade again, going as far as to say that there will ever only be one Blade, which in retrospect is kind of crazy because technically had two with the Sticky Fingers TV show that I'm pretty sure no one remembers or wants to. I don't blame them because that shit should have been tossed right in the vault along with the Fantastic Four movie. Yeah, I went there. Marvel has undervalued the success of Blade as a whole because without it, we wouldn't have X-Men, we wouldn't have the Spider-Man movie, and it's like they took the money and gave Blade little to no respect. Now, this reboot isn't the first time that this has become apparent. We don't really see any type of support, we don't see any merch, or even when they had this whole run of multiverses, there was no real push to include Blade early on. They definitely own the rights to that character, so it's like, what's the hold up? Like DC when they robbed Static Shock and did nothing with it. That's another conversation for another video. Let's say that they didn't want to do this movie without seeing how much support the character can garner from the fan base. Why not give it a limited Disney Plus series that can lead into a movie to build some hype? We got less popular and less iconic characters that get better treatment. Blade disappeared for damn near over a decade after Wesley Snipes last played the character in 2004. My advice for Marvel would be for them to fix this. There are so many different solutions to this problem at hand, and it's really up to them to want to do it. Blade is a unique vampire action horror character that's enigmatic and badass. Who the hell don't want to watch a movie about that? It's like John Wick with vampires. Given a grounded Logan film, and I feel like that can definitely work in this climate for Blade. You have to include Wesley Snipes in some way, shape, or form to show him some type of respect for the role he played in saving Marvel. Because believe it or not, he did. There have been other characters that they can use to make some sort of mini collab, multiverse, or whatever the hell you want to call it. We got Moon Knight, got Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, and many others that I'm not even bringing up right now. As stated earlier, there has been nothing but problems with this new reboot, Blade was barely in the early drafts. The film was originally scheduled for 2023, and here we are halfway through 2025. Over half. Blade definitely deserves better, and at this point, I feel like he's earned it. For a vampire that could walk in the daylight, he sure as hell has been left in the dark.